Home cheapo. Renovate like a pro, pay like a rookie.
Welcome back, film bugs, to another exciting journey into the world of film and entertainment. I'm your host, Lila Filmington. Today, we're diving into the 1981 film Ang Pagbabalik ng Panday, a direct sequel to the 1980 classic Ang Panday, directed by Ronwaldo Reyes and written by Carlo J. Caparas. This film features Fernando Poe Jr., reprising his iconic role as Flavio, the sword-wielding champion of the oppressed. The cast also includes Lito Anzures and Bentot Jr., who sadly passed away in 2016. For those curious about what Bentot Jr. looked like in recent years, here's a photo of him from not long before his passing. Max Alvarado also returns, along with newcomers Tina Revilla, Rosemarie Gil, Lilian Laing, and Sarah Carino. Produced by FPJ Productions, the film was a major success, earning 5 nominations and winning 3 awards at the FAMAS, Filipino Academy of Movie Arts and Sciences Awards. The film opens with a clever recap of the first installment, offering a quick refresher, even though the original was just released a year earlier. For those who missed the first one, it provides a helpful glimpse of what's to come. The story begins with Brunhilde, played by Rosemarie Gil, channeling a classic Disney witch vibe. She cackles for what felt like an eternity while casting a spell to resurrect the infamous Lizardo, played by the one and only Max Alvarado.
Max!
Ha 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 ha. Max, complete with some enhanced eyebrows. Meanwhile, in a quiet village, a young boy frantically warns his father that someone who was dead has returned, skeptical and threatening to beat the crap out of him if it turns out to be false. The father reluctantly investigates. To his horror, he finds the boy was right. An undead young woman suddenly lunges at him, sinking her teeth into his face. In an instant, the entire village is swarmed by zombies. Elsewhere, is that a Ballarau whistling we hear? Signaling the arrival of our hero, Flavio. He's joined by Tata Timio, Anzures, and Lando, Bentot Jr., by the beach. After a hearty meal of paksiw with ampalaya, adobong palaka, steamed rice, and watermelon, we're treated to Tata Temio's so-called guitar skills. He totally doesn't know how to play. Also, can we talk about that giant piece of chicharron? I totally want a bite out of that. Tata Timio's greatest song in the world,
Tribute,
is interrupted by a ball of light going to the book and a villager bringing grim news. Realizing that Lizardo is back from the dead according to the Aklat na Itim, adding Flavio brooding in the background, the trio embarks on their latest adventure. This time, they're up against a wild lineup of monsters, zombies, vampires, a rocking chair ghost, a swamp creature, and some knockoff Oompa Loompas who can kill you with a single touch. Oh, and don't forget Chicken Joy whipping Wanda and Brunhilde. And just when you think it can't get crazier, Lizardo's back from the dead. But it's not all doom and gloom. They've got some fresh allies, too. There's the ridiculously attractive Elena, played by Tina Revilla, and a flock of bird people, or Taong La Win, led by the fierce Amang La Win, brought to life by Jose Romulo. After Flavio gets his ass handed to him by the monstrous Shiokoi, he's rescued by the bird people. Meanwhile, Lando and Tata Timio are captured by whipping Wanda. When Flavio is ready, he faces the river monster once more and finally defeats it. Meanwhile, Lando narrowly escapes becoming a meal for whipping Wanda's pet lizards. In a clever move, he distracts Wanda and sends her tumbling into the lizard pit, meeting her end. Her soldiers, naturally, were devastated. And now, a tribute to whipping Wanda. May you rest in tiny pieces inside your beloved lizards' bellies. Flavio reunites with Lando and Tata Timio, and together with the bird people, they face off against the night ghouls, those terrifying creatures with metallic, popping eyes that can kill with just a touch. These ghouls look like a budget version of Oompa Loompas. Flavio defeats them by plunging his sword into the ground, which somehow lights up the entire area, exposing the creature's weakness. Unfortunately, one of the bird people tragically gets touched by a dying poor man's Oompa Loompa. They hold a bird funeral for her, or at least what you might call a funeral, considering she's still alive, just on the verge of dying. But she's not going anywhere until she gets some smoochy from the king himself. The gang discovers that Brunhilde is Elena's mother, and she resurrected Lizardo to get revenge on Flavio, mistakenly believing he killed her loved one. It turns out it was Tata Timio, who was the slave-branding blacksmith before Flavio. Left with no choice but to defeat Mama Witch, who raised her, they set their sights on the final showdown with Lizardo. With the support of the freed prisoners and villagers, Lizardo and his bitch-ass ninjas are once again brought to their knees. And that brings us to the end of our recap. But before we dive into our review and rating, here's little Jimmy with a fun fact about the film. Take it away, Jimmy.
Thanks, Lila. Hey, FilmBugs. Did you know that this film was a big hit at the Metro Manila Film Festival? In 1981, it was nominated for Best Child Performer, Bentot Jr., and Best Cinematography, Reyes, and both took home the award. The following year, it racked up 5 nominations: Best Supporting Actor, Lito Anzures; Child Actor, Bentot Jr., Best Cinematography, Reyes; Best Production Design, Rolando Sacristo; and Best Sound, Cesar Lucas. It ended up winning Best Cinematography, Production Design, and Sound. Fun fact: FPJ's real name is Ronald Allen Kelly Poe, and he appeared in nearly 300 films. Back to you, Lila.
Thanks, Jimmy. While this is another solid entry in the series, and I believe there are 2 more sequels, it didn't quite resonate with me the way the first one did. My biggest issue is with the final battle against Lizardo. In the first film, the duel was iconic. Each strike from Flavio's sword aged Lizardo by 10 to 20 years. This time around, there's no real fight. Lizardo is just mauled by the bird people, which felt pretty underwhelming. That said, I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie. The introduction of new monsters and the always impressive practical effects kept it engaging. That said, the film boasts impressive cinematography, deservedly winning Best Cinematography at the FAMAS Awards in 2 consecutive years. FPJ and Tina Revilla deliver solid performances, with Lito Anzures and Bentot Jr. providing their usual entertaining turns. I've watched this film multiple times and won't tire of diving into Panday's adventures anytime soon. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10, but don't get mad yet. On the watchability scale, it's a solid 10 out of 10. And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed FilmBug's recap and review of Ang Pagbabalik ng Panday. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click on that bell icons for future notifications. Remember, all the clips featured in this episode are used solely for critique and educational purposes. Please support the filmmakers by purchasing or streaming the movie. Once again, this episode is brought to you by
Home Cheapo. Upgrade your home, not your mortgage.
As always, we deeply appreciate your continued support. Take care, FilmBugs. And until next time, this is Lila signing off.
Ha 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 ha!
Ha 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 ha.